Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic Spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic Spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello, agents. Welcome to episode 145 of the Ingress Insights podcast. This week, we're just going over the plus gamma results that I didn't get to cover last week because they finished literally just as I finished recording. And also going through how you can earn some more plus gamma points, and then through all the campaigns that we've got going on at the moment. Also looking at a few little bits with Recon and the Running Man, the campaign that we had at the end as well. Before we get into that, I just wanted to provide an update on my progress, my way to level 16 again. So I'm now on 11,180,392 AP. I need obviously 16 million to level up and then recurse again. I've already got all the badges required from last time, so there's no additional badges or anything like that. There's no particular badges I'm really aiming for at the moment. It's just going to happen when they happen, I suppose. Nothing else really urgent for me on there for regarding level 16. Like I say, looking like I'm on good track there, because I think last time I did this I was on 10 million something, now I'm on 11. So slowly it'll happen. I've got a decent amount of portals hack on the way to and from work, so we should get there in plenty of time. With that out of the way, I'll now start on the plus gamma news. So we've got the February 28th anomaly results from Charlotte. So that was 208.5 points to the Enlightened versus 91.5 points to Resistance. So Enlightened won that one, and the total points there on the day are now 344.6 points to Enlightened versus 255.4 points to Resistance. If you want a full breakdown, I'll provide the link and you can check that out and see who won Stealth Ops, who won Urban Ops, things like that, and how all the Shard battles went, but I won't go through all the details on here. The next part I'm going to cover does stray the line between Gamma and general Ingress news. So I'm going to start covering the normal Ingress news, and then there's a way of earning plus Gamma tokens in this as well. On the 3rd of March, the Ingress team put up Investigation Alert the Aberration. Agents scan as a red line across the globe. A distortion in the XM substrate has been detected. Its signature matches nothing previously seen. This entity has been designated the Aberration. An investigation begins 6th of March 2026. 6 p.m. UTC and ends April 6, 6 p.m. UTC. To help investigate, all agents will be granted access to a primary campaign, the Aberration. Our current analysis suggests the entity is not passive. The XM flow generated by agent activity will cause it to react and change. Should agents prioritize fortifying the network, deploying resonators, establishing links, and creating control fields, they will unlock the specialized campaign, the Aberration Superposition. On the other hand, should agents focus on destroying XM structures, discharging XMPs, neutralizing portals, and disrupting links, they will unlock the Aberration Dissolution. Agents who achieve a state balance by completing all 3 campaigns will unlock the ultimate campaign, the Aberration Equilibrium. It is hoped, with the help of agents around the world, this multi-phase investigation will enable the entity to anchor itself to our physical reality. I mentioned you can earn plus gamma tokens, so right, success in these campaigns yields a vital reward. All Aberration campaigns combined will reward agents with up to 3,800 plus gamma tokens. The investigation represents the final opportunity for agents to acquire plus gamma tokens before the season concludes. If you are pursuing a higher tier for your plus gamma season medal, this is your last window to secure the necessary resonance. Any outcomes from this operation will not count towards the plus gamma season scores. So you can earn points on there, get tokens, it's not an account towards the season points, won't affect who wins what on there, because we've got the anomalies coming up to decide that. There's also 2 other campaigns in this, so all the campaigns. So the feline sensitives. Inquisitive research report the investigation has attracted what are being termed feline sensitives. Scanner fluctuations coincide with peculiar biometric traces, observers who seem detached and intensely aware. Whether these are entities influencing the phenomenon, or simply aloof remains unknown. We're introducing 2 premium medal campaigns, each at 30,000 CMU, in the in-app store to commemorate this phenomenon. Good Cat medal for those dedicated to the stable side of the quantum equation. The Bad Cat 2020 medal for those who prefer to stir the cosmic litter box. Both premium coins are optional and independent of the main event objectives. Observation or Void, Stability or Chaos each offer a distinct collectible medal. I think the cat medals look crap, unfortunately. The Good Cat one is like an angelic cat with the, I don't know what the proper word for it is, I call it the anchor. And when it goes down and does the diamond at the bottom. And then the Bad Cat one is like a kind of broken-ish medal where there's a fire and it's got the glyphs I always mess up. So I don't even have a particular name for that one because I look at it and go, nope, I'm not going to do that. So we do have a lot of campaigns ongoing at the moment. So just to confirm, for the Aberration, that's 5 assignments initially, and you get 200 plus Gamma tokens by completing all 4 of its tasks. And completing assignment 1 unlocks the Superposition campaign. Doing assignment 2 unlocks the Dissolution campaign, and then completing the Superposition and Dissolution gets you the Equilibrium campaign. So the Superposition campaign composed of 3 assignments. You get 300 plus Gamma tokens by completing at least 4 out of 6 of the tasks there. Dissolution, similarly, it's 3 assignments. You complete at least 4 out of the 6 of those tasks, you get 300 plus Gamma tokens. And Equilibrium is 2 assignments, each rewarding 500 plus Gamma tokens, and then by completing at least 4 of its 6 tasks. The Bad Cat campaign is just 1 assignment with 5 tasks. You'll be able to see it anyway in your campaign, you just won't be unlocked. And that's, you've got to complete at least 3 of them. And the kit that they say you can earn in that is the medal, obviously, 200 level 8 XMPs, 100 level 8 Ultra Strikes, 3 Ada Refractors, and 3 Jarvis Virus. And the Good Cat 2026, again, 30,000 CMU. Again, 1 assignment with 5 tasks, and you get the medal for completing 3. And the other kit you can get is 100 level 8 Resonators, 20 Hypercubes, 4 Apex, and 2 Portal Fracas for the Bad Cat one. So that's a whole lot of campaigns going on at the moment. I've not made much progress in the Aberration one myself as yet. Started when I finished work. I've not had much of a chance to go out and do stuff yet over this weekend. So I'm still kind of playing catch up on the Aberration one. I'm still on the first page, but I should get that finished in the next couple of days. But you do have until the 6th of April to complete all of them on there. I'm also curious because this obviously runs through to the end of the Q1, basically, the end of Plus Gamma, and whether that then affects things that are coming up because it's mentioning about anchoring the entity to our physical reality. So, do we want the Aberration anchored here? I don't know. Is that a good thing, bad thing? Is that something that's going to play into lore in the future? Again, I don't know, but it's an interesting thing going on. I think the cat campaigns, I could do that. I'm not really bothered about those, but I do like the idea of this Aberration, something breaking out into our world. Speaking of campaigns, the Toast Day campaigns are still ongoing, and those run until the 9th of March. So you've got until 6 p.m. on Monday, the 9th of March, to make sure you complete it on there. That includes getting the premium campaign if you want to do that, if you want the Toast Day 2022 medal or want to get the wings on the Toast Day 2022 medal. Too many twos there, sorry. And then obviously you've got the regular one that you can keep repeating and repeating to earn lots of Toast beacons and do lots of hacking on there. I just want to remind everyone it's kind of coming to an end shortly. One other important thing to note is the Ingress team shared on the 4th of March that they've started a series of server upgrades, and those will continue through next week. They are live updates, so do expect some latency or intermittent outages whilst work is performed. They do say thank you for your patience, we improve our systems. It's not entirely clear what they're doing and what is being used for. Maybe it'll be fit rate rewards that they're finally adding in, or maybe they're just making sure everything works and they don't get cut off again like they did previously. But at least they're doing something. At least it's kind of on the way. That's about it that I've got for general Ingress updates. So to move into a little bit of Recon, a little bit of some other things, and just some things that Niantic Spatial are doing. I want to now go on to Recon. So I've covered going through basically all the checks you would do when you're reviewing a nomination in previous episodes. I will go through and do this whole separate Recon episode at some point. What I want to call out now and start discussing is that on the Wayfarer forums in 2024, there were some criteria clarifications just around certain objects and certain things. So these all carry over to Recon and they're available in the help pages. If you can't log into Recon and can't see them, you should be able to see them on Wayfarer's help pages and the Wayfarer community forum. They're exactly the same, so all the rules there still apply for Recon. So I want to go through what was said about architecture firstly. So for buildings, a building with unique architecture, features, or historical or cultural significance can make a great nomination. The submitter should explain the story of the building or what about particular is unique. The supporting text should prove why this is an important building worthy of exploration. Referencing historical registers and news articles can be helpful when it comes to verifying your claims. Architectural details on buildings, like this picture below, I know you can't see it, may be eligible depending on the specific case that is made. Some cities have a dominant architectural style, and every single building in the area may have features that are in that style. As a result, those features may not be considered unique. If the ornaments are unique compared to the rest of the building, however, or of historic importance, they can be eligible. And then finally, for architecture, it ends with ruins. So ruins are historically significant, preserved for heritage or tourism, and safe to access, can be a great place to explore. Submitters should provide context and information in their titles, descriptions, and supporting information. Again, referencing historical registers and news articles can be helpful when it comes to verifying your claims. Ruins with no sign, but that are well maintained and safe to access, can be considered eligible. I've visited plenty of ruins, plenty of like funky buildings or historically or culturally significant buildings. I know there's ones for like local newspapers, there's ones that are like previously this building was used to like hang people, stuff like that. There's a lot of those in England. So there's lots of unique history there for definitely our buildings, and the ruins we've got may not be the same in your area. You may have to go looking for something else to nominate, but I just want to start covering the criteria clarifications around various things as just to prepare you. There's things to go through like military bases, cemeteries, playgrounds, swimming pools, picnic areas, businesses, survey markers. So that'll be the kind of thing on these recon bits now that I'll go through and clarify. And then once we've gone through everything, there'll be a whole massive episode going through everything in one go. So you can listen to just that if you're brand new to Recon, and that'll hopefully help you out. Just on Recon as well, the community sentiment around it towards is, I think people are just pissed that their nominations are not moving through and there's no action. There seems to be no resource on Recon and nothing's happening. People are getting notifications saying they went upgrades and that nothing happens to them. You can't use them. Everything's moving really slow, and it's still just limited to level 16 recurse agents, or even all this time on. So I'd hope something happens soon, but I think they really do need someone in charge of Recon to kind of spearhead it, like there's Niantic Tintino. Even if they don't have the resource to get other people like Niantic Aaron, Niantic Atlas, their own version of them, they should at least have someone spearheading it and someone that's responsible for Recon and developing it as it goes forward. So Wayfarer's had a few things, so they've recently changed how they do upgrades, so you can't apply them for the first 24 hours. They've recently got a whole map where you can go around, look at everything, do reports straight from that map, which is handy. I know we can do it with the deep links as well, but it's handy to just go around that map and see what's in the area, what might be moving, updating, changing, reporting, things like that. So I think Wayfarer's now got the scope of the money behind it and they're making good changes. It'd be nice if Recon wasn't just static, sitting there doing the same as it has been doing since November, and there was some changes being made in it. But I think it's going to take some time before that happens, unfortunately. I know that people also previously appealed like things in the forums for Wayfarer, and now that things are split, they're not quite sure where to go for that. So just to clarify, if we do go to support.ingress.com, and right at the top of the page, if you're viewing in dark mode, it's a bit awful to see, but there's a button there that says sign in on the burger menu and one that says submit a request. If you do submit a request, you'll be able to report an issue with a location. And then here you'll type in all the details and just explain, like choose any options and just explain what the issue is. It'll go to a person and they can actually then look at the details on there. There is a box that says, I'm the owner of the property or have the authority to make this request with the owner's consent. you are unfortunately going to have to lie on this point and just say yes, and then type in the free form back to say you're not, but that this is the only place to raise things for, like getting portals restored, getting an appeal done for something that's not accepted, because the appeals don't seem to be going through at all at the moment. That's another bugbear people have got, that the appeals queue is just piling up, and our team seem to be just wasting time doing edits and photos, things like that they really shouldn't be. They should be focusing on appeals instead. So yeah, no one's really happy with Recon at the moment, unfortunately, but I don't know when that will change or if that will change. I do want to switch gears now and talk about Asim. So I spoke with Asim Ahmed previously on the podcast about Peridots. He was the first guest I kind of had on to talk about that. He's now Niantic Spatial's head of marketing. You may have seen his name in the Running Man post that got written up on Niantic Spatial's blog and Ingress's blog. And he was on a podcast recently. He joined, I may pronounce this wrong, sorry if I do, Gabriel Romagnoli on the XR AR Spotlight podcast to talk about large geospatial models. He did mention Ingress once in there, talking about the immersive experiences. Obviously, with Ingress and Peridot, that's where they fall in for Niantic Spatial. So I will link to it in the show notes. It's a good listen to see through and see someone from Niantic Spatial explaining what the purpose is and how they're doing it and how they're enabling spatial intelligence. And then linking into Sim, Running Man, all of that. The Niantic Spatial team posted a blog about the Running Man campaign and about Ingress as well. So they said how geospatial AI turns every street into a story. So imagine the world where the sidewalk isn't just concrete but a stage. Imagine a park where the wind carries digital echoes of an unfolding story, and the city skyline isn't just a view but the interface of shared imagination. At Niantic Spatial, we aren't just building another map, we're building a large geospatial model powered by artificial intelligence that understands the physical world, a living model that bridges the gap between how people and machines perceive and interact with reality. 25 years, we've mapped the planet's heartbeat, proving to hundreds of millions that the most powerful platform for human imagination isn't a 6-inch screen, it's the world itself. When Paramount Pictures sought to reintroduce the world to the high-stakes reality of the Running Man, they posed the question, how can we make the audience feel the thrill of the hunt? Their goal was to find a fun, innovative approach to IP promotion that felt as bold as the film itself. Paramount found its solution in Ingress, the most formidable example of real-world storytelling at global scale. As Niantic Spatial's 13-year trailblazer, Ingress served as a validated living spatial interface of the world that could be instantly transformed to the film's narrative. It provided a ready-made audience of tech visionaries and sci-fi enthusiasts who already view the world as canvas for something more. Rather than just place an ad in the game, we invited players to explore the world through the lens of the film. We orchestrated a 2-part narrative arc. So Act 1 was the theatrical pulse. To support the theatrical premiere, we activated a citywide walking mission, as well as a dedicated community event in Los Angeles, guiding players to physical locations that mirrored the film's narrative. Globally, across various real-world landmarks, we deployed special media drops, collectible in-game artifacts turning trailers and lore into a discovery-based experience. 2. The global broadcast. As the film moved to home entertainment platforms, players around the world were encouraged to submit their audition for the film. Did they have what it took to survive? We tested their prowess and determination with a global scale quest, including tasks from trekking to territory capture. During this multi-phase campaign, we took a passive audience and turned them into active participants. We didn't show people the Running Man, we gave them the high-stakes thrill of being the runner. And there's a quote here from Brian Rose, and he says, Niantic Spatial makes it easy to activate audiences in the real world. By turning the Running Man into location-based Ingress missions and a global quest, we allow superfans to break free from the screen and build a deeper connection with the film's characters. They also shared the results, so it says, moving the needle and the audience. The outcome confirms that when the story is laid onto the physical world, audience engagement transforms into measurable action. During the campaign, over 125,000 highly engaged explorers enjoyed the Running Man quest globally. Active Ingress users saw a daily average increase of 8.5%. The Running Man content achieved more than 1.5 million total impressions in the game. Agents moved approximately 2 million kilometers, and agents collected over $650,000 worth of in-game rewards. The Running Man collaboration serves as a powerful illustration of the potential for immersive entertainment, which, as I said, Ingress is part of the immersive entertainment bit in Niantic Spatial. It demonstrates Niantic Spatial has the technology to help their partners take their unique stories and weave them into the fabric of our daily lives. As we continue to build a world where machines can talk to the place we love, we invite you to imagine what story your neighbourhood tell tomorrow. The stage is set, the world is your canvas, and now it's your turn to create. And they do put a bit here about Ingress. I just want to read that out as well because it's interesting what they highlight on here. So Ingress is worldwide team-based geo-mobile territory control. Jump in, explore your local portals, help shape the future of the map by submitting 3D scans of existing portals. Each scan adds depth, meaning, and possibility to place you know best, powering a large geospatial model that helps machines understand the real world. Play Ingress, scan your world, help tell its story. So it's interesting, obviously, they're talking about building up their map. So obviously they're talking about scanning, but it's weird they don't talk about much else on there related to Ingress. But it seems like it was a success for Niantic Spatial and Paramount on there. I will link to the case studies. You can look through the details there. But it seems like the campaign got more people playing, which again, we've got lots of campaigns because it gets people playing. Gives them tasks to do, makes them more involved. So going up 8.5% on average in total, that's really good. I don't know how many campaigns is too many. Maybe that's the case at the minute. They're trying to find that breaking point on there. Talking of scans, there was obviously the change from Lightship to Scaniverse recently. And I asked in one of the discourse for Scaniverse about what was happening with VPS basically. So I said, not sure if this is the right place to ask, but I'll ask anyway. Previously, Ingress players who had a Lightship developer account could use it to log into the geospatial browser to submit a request to activate a wayspot for VPS if it had good enough count of scan/mesh, which then activates it with an AR experience in Ingress being overclocked. How is this now achieved? I got a response a few days later saying, great question. We'll be sharing more details about this soon. At the moment, there isn't a replacement available. We'll keep everyone updated once we have more to announce. So seems like the team is aware of it and there will be more details to come on how we get overclock portals back, but not yet, basically. And then finally, I just wanted to share a little strange thing that came up. So I know I mentioned previously I was made redundant. I was looking for another job. I've now found a new job. So previously I was working in the financial industry. I'm now working in the energy industry, which is a bit of a change there for myself. And it came across my feed on LinkedIn about something that was a weird cross between those. So there's an update from Quinn Nakayama, where he said Pacific Gas and Electric Company and Niantic Spatial Inc., four makers of Pokemon Go. You heard me, Pikachu, I choose you, although I'm more of a Mewtwo guy, but I digress. Had an amazing brainstorming session here at our PG&E facilities about the future of real-world digital data collection and its transformative impacts it can have in the utility sector. From new business and inspections to veg management to wildfire, we are seeing significant potential in what this type of capability can drive for our customers and ratepayers for better customer service, better risk management, and reduction of costs and affordability. Thank you to the entire Niantic Spatial team for coming by, and I look forward to seeing what our companies can do together in envisioning the Utility 2.0. So, not something I expected Niantic Spatial will be doing. I don't really know what they'll be doing together, but like I say, came across my feed and NG Utility is kind of thing that I know now, I guess. I'm not very confident in it yet, but I'm getting there after spending many years in finance. It's a bit of a change, as I said. So it was just a strange thing to come across. I want to share that as well and see if what's happening with Niantic Spatial utilities and energy and how that all works. I don't really know. That's about all that I've really got for this week, agents. So just to be aware that obviously second Sunday is coming up next Sunday. So make sure you've got your scans ready or your missions ready to go on there. Also, be aware there's still the live updates going on. So if you experience scanner issues, that may be why. Just check in your chats with other agents to see what's going on. And then just for myself, I've got a few t-shirts up that I've been working on in the store. There's a few little things on there. I'm trying to be more general Ingress stuff now that I want to buy as an Ingress agent rather than just slapping the Ingress Insights logo on something and calling it a day. So when ideas come to me, I'm just trying to get them together and trying to get them out there so you can get them on t-shirts and mugs and hats and whatever else you want to on there. If you check the Blue Sky for Ingress Insights, they also put up a survey just basically asking what you want of the podcast going forward. So it's always nice to have some feedback, see what you want, what I should keep doing, what I should stop doing. And basically, making the best podcast I can for all of you listening. Outside of that, I did try to switch to a new host. So for basically since I started the podcast, I've been on Spotify for podcasters, Spotify creators, Anchor FM, whatever it's called now. And I did try changing it over to Acast. Fortunately, Acast were a bit shit and took days to encode podcast episodes. So I'm now back on Spotify for creators. If you know of any other better podcast platforms, do let me know. But so far, Spotify haven't let me down. That's all from me for this week, agents. So hope you have a great Sunday and happy hacking. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/Ingress Insights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates really helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game-related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.